Welcome to the JumpCloud Partner Interview Series, or should I say in your case, welcome back, as eagle-eyed listeners and viewers will know that we spoke not too long ago, but in a slightly different capacity when we were chatting with Brett Ramberg around how Xceptional Networks acquired Altitude Integrations, which was a fascinating story, and we had some great feedback on that. So thanks for that. If you've not listened to it, check it out. It's available on YouTube or the podcast. But today's slightly different. It's more about you and Xceptional in a little bit more detail. So with that, maybe we just kick off by telling us a little about your name, your role, the name of the MSP, location, and the kind of how it all got created.
Sure. Well, my name is Chris McKewon, and the company's name is Xceptional. I was actually founded a company called Xceptional Networks in 2007. We're focused on the value-added reseller market for LAN infrastructure, mostly enterprise LAN infrastructure. I like to call that Xceptional 1.0. A friend of mine coined the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 iterations of Xceptional over the last 16 some odd years. But yeah, so we were focused on the Cisco space mostly, Cisco LAN and Wi-Fi networks, collaboration networks, video infrastructure, that sort of thing, which was all kind of cutting edge in those days. Xceptional 2.0, we sort of pivoted and changed to Xceptional, and with Xceptional Networks being one of our lines of business. We headquartered in San Diego, originated in San Diego because that's where I grew up. Today we operate 5 main lines of business, and that's Xceptional Networks, which is the LAN, WAN, Wi-Fi, and security practice. Xceptional Connect, which is the collaboration practice, so voice, video, web-based collaboration. Xceptional Cloud is the data center, server storage, backup, recovery type of business, and the Xceptional Care is our managed services. So where we do help desk, break fix, that sort of thing. And Xceptional Protect is our security practice, newer practice, and that's security operations center. And all the MSSP type services on top of that. The 3.0 iteration of Xceptional was that we went out to acquire other businesses and grow through acquisition as well as organically. And so that's when we met Brett and acquired Altitude Integrations, actually, and personally was exposed to JumpCloud for the first time. Jumped right in, got certified, loved the product, loved the idea. We're a Google shop, so it was a good complementary skill set to learn. And it's been interesting since then. Lots of fun.
Sounds it, and that was it sounds like you got a pretty wide portfolio of products there, and services, which is great.
Right.
And yeah, in San Diego, it's I've only been there once. It's one of my favorite US cities. I was there for a DataCon event a few years ago, and which is when I was working at Data.
Downtown.
Yeah. And I loved it. Yeah.
It's a very diverse in geography for sure. You got a good downtown area. Professional sports, but you also have the coastal, pristine coastal, lots of it still, and then mountains and desert too. So we got it all. It's a huge county. It's a fun place to live for sure.
Yeah, well, when we were there, I think it was June, and I think people were saying this, I think June gloom or something. I think they were saying in the centre, so it was pretty great. Well,
yeah,
it was coming from England, it was heavenly, but I guess if you're used to sunshine, it wasn't too great. But, on the final day, we took literally a 10-15 minute Uber to the beach. I think it was Mission Beach or something. I can't remember. And it was completely bright sunshine. It was amazing difference.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. You got lucky because usually it's overcast clouds around the coast there.
Oh, okay.
I lived about a 15-minute drive. I grew up about a 15-minute drive from La Jolla and La Jolla Cove, La Jolla Shores. And I could, from an early age, take the bus down there and boogie board and cliff dive. There was lots of opportunity to cliff dive back in the days. And I just love being around the ocean and being in the water growing up for sure. A lot
No,
of fun.
it's a beautiful part of the world. So yeah, very very lucky.
Mm.
So I guess going back to the MSP business,
Yeah.
you mentioned you've got different sort of service pillars there that you offer, but do you have a particular client, a particular client type, or do you work with lots of different clients?
We have a diverse clientele. I would say our ideal is a 50-person plus company that has a healthy appreciation for IT, compliance with cybersecurity standards, either an internal stakeholder knowledgeable person, or an actual IT like CIO or director to work with. And that's it. Like you mentioned, we do have a very wide um, portfolio of services and products, and that's a blessing and a curse, right? I think, but it makes us very flexible, very able to secure companies' interests from an IT perspective, right? Sort of own some of the obligations to operate and secure those sensitive areas of their business.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I was just thinking about the sort of different areas you've got, and one of the ones you mentioned there, which is Google. And am I right in then saying you're a Google partner from a sort of Google Workspace point of view in the Google
Yeah,
Cloud Suite?
correct. Altitude Integrations had a lot of subscriptions. I think nearly doubled, if not more, so the Google subscriptions that we sold previously. Um, we do a lot of email, calendar, contacts, file infrastructure, design, implementation, support for both Google and Microsoft. So of course, a lot of that involves identity management and sign on and all that kind of stuff. That's where the nice time of JumpCloud comes in often. We have lots of JumpCloud conversations with, especially with Google customers for sure.
Yeah, and how do you find that sort of Google Workspace? Because a lot of MSPs, I'm not either aren't necessarily aware of it or shy away from it a little and are very, very Microsoft focused. I mean, you're finding success with Google Workspace in your organization.
I think the services surrounding it, yes. The product and product sales is it, it's a service more than it is a product profit center for us, honestly. But supporting clients who need implementations, migrations, that kind of professional services work, we get lots of requests for, and we do a lot of work in. We also do a lot of Microsoft work, if I'm honest, and so and there's customers moving to Google from Microsoft to Google, etc. We don't have a lot of on-premise much anymore. Those are few and far between, especially for messaging. But yeah, I think the Google Marketplace is vast. I don't really understand why an MSP wouldn't at least become proficient in its operation, if not a reseller. It doesn't cost you much in terms of professional services or operational support to support that environment, and it is a vast marketplace with lots of features and functionality, and adding more every day. I don't know about you, but I've dabbled a little bit and have explored some of the functions of Bard and the AI capabilities. I'm interested to see how that's going to tie into the workspace more tightly, similar to what Microsoft is doing with their product today. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that Microsoft have sort of doing pretty well with the sort
Yeah.
of stuff in Office Microsoft 365 now
Yeah.
with the AI side, and I'm sure Google won't be far behind. I wouldn't have thought anyway. And I think there are various third-party plugin things that can do it, but I guess it's kind of waiting for the Google thing to come through.
Yeah, I think so. Similar to smart devices and smartphone OSs, they're not the first to market typically, but they are a force to be reckoned with for sure. So we'll see. It's an
Yeah,
interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. And just while we're talking about the different vendors, I mean, from your client point of view, you support presumably all of the major operating systems, but how does that break down? Are you seeing most of your, the sort of clients you're looking at, 50 users and above, are they kind of skewing to more Mac, Windows, or a combination of everything?
I mean, I think it's a combination. A lot of people have a need for one or the other, right? I think education, arts are going to be more. This is obvious, I think, to anyone in the industry, but they're going to be more centered around Mac because of its focus on those areas. Um, but Windows 11, Windows 10 is a very solid operating system. We're seeing lots of companies go whole hog into a Microsoft ecosystem environment with some of your competition, frankly, Intune and Microsoft Entra ID and those things, as well as lots of clients who would rather you know close up shop than to do that, right? So there are people that have preferences, very strong preferences in both directions. That's an interesting time to be able to support either or both, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we see if we look at the kind of the devices managed by JumpCloud worldwide, there are probably marginally more Windows devices than Mac devices, which
Yeah,
surprises me. But
yeah.
it's also, yeah.
And the Apple Silicon is very fast and not a huge premium over. I think pay for Intel Silica that fast, you're paying much more than you would pay for a Mac Pro today, for example. I've been impressed with that hardware.
Yeah. And is that in your, I guess, your sort of user base, is that predominantly sort of corporate owned, or is there any sort of bring your own
It,
device in there?
yeah, well, bring your own devices. We won't support or put software on that's not managed by an MAM deployment profile. Um, but yeah, I think that I echo what you're saying is that we see a lot of adoption of both platforms, both even phones, Android and iOS. Although I think I would venture to guess. I haven't looked at the data. Chris, you could probably tell me what the mobile device skews to, what your data says. I would venture to guess it's more Apple in general, but lots of Android also thrown in there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a big regional difference. I think in the US, I think you're right. I think it's iOS,
Yeah,
but I think worldwide Android probably just
Android.
figure a little bit
Yeah,
higher. I mean, I think if I think of all of pretty much everyone I know in the space, it's all iOS. But I think a lot of technical people are a little bit more Android because I guess
yeah.
you can do more with it. It's a little bit more of a kind of tweakable OS than iOS.
You mean they let you under the hood?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, whereas iOS, you're kind of very
Uh,
limited to do
or what do you say, under the bonnet?
under the bonnet. I would say
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
That just shows the Americanization of language when even I accepted under the hood as a valid
Right,
term there, whereas
right.
we don't use hood at all here. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's why, and I guess that's why we've got a portion of users at JumpCloud that are running Linux as their kind of daily operating system, which is very specialist, I guess. I don't think a lot of end users generally do that.
We've I've not seen a lot of it on endpoints like end user workstations, but virtual machines and servers and stuff like that for sure, lots of that, or
Yeah,
specialized
absolutely. Yeah.
tools, right? Tool based workstations, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, no, we see that too. Okay, so let's looking at the relationship with JumpCloud. I think you've explained a little today and previously on the other one about how you
Yeah.
initially heard about JumpCloud, but that was you weren't familiar with us prior to the speaking with Altitude.
I would. It's hard to recall. I think that's accurate. I think certainly wasn't as familiar as I became rapidly because Altitude's practice was sort of built around the Google stack, which we were familiar with, and the Jump Cloud, subscription practice, and that was interesting to us. And so we we started applying it where we were using 2 or 3 different tools previously. It checked a lot of boxes with one subscription, and which ended up, sort of a win-win, right? So it's a capable product that does multi-layered functionality that we previously had multiple subscriptions to handle. So cost-wise, it was less expensive on the whole, but for us, it was intuitive tool set where the training was laid out for us. The certification process was easy to adopt. I hate the word easy. It was straightforward to adopt and implement. And the folks that came over from Altitude were also very good students of JumpCloud and teachers of JumpCloud. So it was a great mix. Many of the other tool sets of Altitude overlapped with ours, so that was a straightforward integration. It was a good, I would say, revolutionary step for us. Exceptional, but it was certainly an evolutionary step. We had all these other tools within Microsoft and other MSP-focused tools, and JumpCloud's effort to develop that MSP partnership and treat that channel with some, the respect that much revenue deserves, right, was a smart move, and really strengthen that relationship and further that bond, so that now it's a straightforward motion. It's nice. It's nice to have a good partner, right, with a straightforward licensing subscription model.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That was kind of what we set out to do, to make it easier for MSPs to transact with us. And one of the questions which I was kind of going to ask later a bit, I think we kind of just touched upon it there, is how you see the MSP space growing. I mean, we're seeing, anecdotally at least, more and more sort of small to medium-sized businesses reaching out to an MSP, whether or not they would call them an MSP or whatever, but reaching out to someone to offer these services. Are you seeing more of that within sort of the general kind of end user base?
Yeah, and it's a very diverse set of customers that are reaching out. We're hearing from, which I suppose is a testament to JumpCloud's ability to be accessible as a product, right? We're getting calls from very small organizations, 5 people who we've got JumpCloud, we need help, we need consulting, and it's so important to them that they're not going to just try to do it themselves. They're going to reach out to a partner to help. We're also getting interest and sparking some interest in companies that are much larger because like I said before, you're checking a lot of the boxes that companies and customers and MSPs have to check. You're doing it now with easy for an MSP to consume licensing or subscription model. We have products where we bundle it, and so it's a straightforward motion for us to sign up a customer, do a JumpCloud onboarding, and eliminate a lot of products that they previously used trying to address these issues, and giving them that granular control that I think in the right hands can be powerful and useful.
Yeah, and obviously you mentioned you take the whole products available to you in the sort of single SKU bit. I mean, which parts of JumpCloud do you generally use, or the portions that you're not using currently, or which portions are you using?
I think what's interesting is seeing the maturation of the usage, meaning a lot of customers used it for device management for a while, right? Or tried to. Sometimes we tried to, but it stopped. And we're helping them, conceive of the 3 legs of the stool, right? Getting all of the functional areas deployed, integrated, working. But to answer your question more directly, we sell a lot of Platform Plus with patching and remote control. And that's the bundle that we have from JumpCloud, and it ticks the boxes that we need it to tick, with few exceptions. And from what I understand in the roadmap presentations I've seen, those boxes are going to get ticked soon, which I would like to hear.
Yeah, and we're very receptive, as I'm sure you're
Right.
aware if you attend the roadmap webinars. I think a lot of the stuff which is being fed back from MSPs like yourself is happening pretty quickly.
What's unique in that environment is in those sessions is it's the CEO of the company that's driving them and demonstrating and hands-on. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and absolutely, and it just kind of go back to what you were saying earlier, is that MSP, and any MSPs listening, and I've been an MSP, and I know you are now. It's a huge market opportunity everyone's got, because more and more of these businesses do need help, whether that be through complexity, they just don't want to get involved in the technology, or it may be compliance or insurance, or for whatever reason, they're coming to people like you to help out.
I mean, it's amazing to me when you start customer conversations, some at the highest levels of substantial organizations, and you ask simple questions like, "So do you tell me about your inventory of infrastructure or endpoints?" And they can't. Tell me about your patch levels. What do you do to manage patching? They can't, right? And this sort of technology puts those answers at fingertips. I think if of course deployed correctly, completely, etc. Right? But it gives that sort of data, those data points, critical data points, at the right person's fingertips on a moment's notice, which is critical these days, I think.
Yeah, absolutely critical. And are you seeing things like insurance becoming more of or more regulatory requirements that are kind of being pushed down to your clients?
All over the place, yeah, of course. Starting with MFA, and then taking it a step further to encryption, endpoint detection and response, and end user security awareness training. Those not, I don't quite yet becoming requirements, but definitely becoming a factor in pricing. I attended actually a JumpCloud presentation with a company that's bundling vulnerability assessments in with their insurance policies, or policy offers, which I thought was an interesting approach. We ask every customer when we're doing a cybersecurity review if they have cyber risk insurance. After we've asked them, do you have an MFA, single sign-on, and drive encryption, right, out of all these other things? Oh, do you have this? And if it's no, usually it's going to be no, or it's I pay a pile of money every month or every quarter on cyber risk insurance, or it's so expensive I can't. And I just don't know where to go, right? Usually it's a tall mountain to climb and very overwhelming. And like I said, the product suite that we've chosen, including JumpCloud, ticks a lot of those boxes.
Yeah, and it's interesting around insurance. I think there's going to be a lot of movement around the MSP space and cyber insurance, which is going to happen. But one of the key points you mentioned there, which is the often overlooked part of the whole sort of cybersecurity thing, is training and end user training. Is that something that you offer to your clients?
We do. With our bundled solutions, we include not just end user security awareness training, campaign management basically, but also phishing simulation. So we're training, then we're checking to make sure that you're aware of the people that are trying to fool you into giving up information or clicking on things. We record that data and then we report it back to the customer on a quarterly basis, and that informs the next wave of training, et cetera, and wash, rinse, repeat, and try to reduce the rate of failure or whatever you want to call it, down to a manageable level, right? We're all humans. We all make mistakes. Everyone's making mistakes. But the human firewall, as they call it, right? That's the most important element. We're all vulnerable all the time to attack or subterfuge or whatever, and we have to be sort of on our guards to make sure that we don't give up the keys or wittingly or unwittingly. Most hopefully unwittingly.
Well, yeah, hopefully. Although, yeah, there is those situations.
Well, I mean, ideally, cybersecurity protects you from either, right? Ideally, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. And when you're speaking to these sort of CEOs or principals or whatever of these organizations you're working with, let's say you've just been introduced to a new client, do you think that they're kind of more aware of the risks and need to do something about it now than they were a few years ago? Or is it still new to them?
Well, so many have been compromised in some way at some point, right? So many. It's kind of sad or disturbing, however you want to describe it. So yeah, absolutely, they're aware, concerned about it. They, as a friend of mine put it once, they just want the bad guy to stop, right? Or someone to help them stop the bad guys, because it's overwhelming for the little guys. So yeah, to answer your question directly, absolutely, we get a lot of requests for things that used to be hard sales to get that today are, please help us with X, Y, and Z. And it's because there's so many attempts to compromise the vulnerabilities and weaknesses of organizations or individuals that any tools that we can give them work, right? We do these things because they work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just changing gears slightly, just a couple of quick questions. One of which is around the kind of customer recruitment, how you're finding new customers. I know that you guys at Xceptional have got a fantastic marketing department. I kind of had the pleasure of working with them, set up these interviews and things. But do you sort of see that sort of marketing to create sort of inbound is the way to go, or do you have outbound opportunities, or how are you, or is it referrals, word of mouth? Where does the business come from?
Well, traditionally, Xceptional has grown on a great majority, I think, of referral business, repeat business. Being around for as long as we have, it's a testament to that service level, right? And the strive to always improve. We are always aware of our brand, name, our brand image, working to improve those things. I think what you'll see from us in the future is understanding the customer's journey along the way of trying to find knowledge, trying to find help in getting knowledge, and trying to find help getting assistance in transferring that knowledge to action. And I think that's where we'll reach more eyeballs, more interested eyeballs than just being another MSP who says the same things to their customers. It's all about our people. We want to be the trusted advisor. All the MSP marketing tropes that are out there. We're trying to avoid just furthering those same things and being more focused in our messaging and creating that brand awareness that we want to bring in the right customers who appreciate the service that we provide. That's not strictly commoditized, but also not so unattainable or unreachable that even the small businesses can't consume. We want to help everyone, and that's kind of our goal is not to be selling, but to rather be helping, and that there's value in that service, and so then we understand that, and obviously this is a business, we monetize that, but it's about a need to assist folks who want to improve their position, want to improve their uptime, their security, their capability, etc. That's just what we're all about.
I've just written 2 words there, which I think were really important that you mentioned, which is right customers, or I guess 3 words, the right customers, because it's so important that it is a partnership between you and the customer, and they've got to be along for the journey, and they need to want to improve as well. And if they're just not doing that and wanting the lowest price, the commoditized price, then they're probably not a good fit for you either.
Right, or looking for someone to sit at the other end of a finger, right, pointed. Yeah, obviously we take our responsibility seriously. We work to earn the right customers, not just demand the right customers. Right, obviously you have to build the trust that comes with the right customer, and they have to in turn find the right partner. So it is always interesting having those qualification conversations, right, with prospective customers, and trying to find where are they coming from, what is their motivation, right? Is it the bargain, or is it the right solution that they're looking for? Because one is the right customer for us, and the other one probably isn't the right customer for us. Needs obvious choice.
Yeah, and I guess that's part of what comes with, you say, the sort of 3rd iteration of your business. The more mature you kind of get to the point where you can understand what the type of customers you want to work with.
Yeah, I think that's critically important, and as important as sitting on the other side of the table and finding the right partner you want to work with, because you need someone that you can customers need someone that can rely on when there's trouble or there's need, right, to grow to the good kind of need. There's also you need the right kind of partner when there's the urgent or the important kind of need. Which in MSP and MSSP you deal in both worlds. So it's a fascinating journey. It's a very difficult journey to earn that position of partnership with a customer. It's sacred to us as it should be, and we endeavor to improve that journey for us and for the customer, and to make this whole experience positive and reinforcing and renewing, and instead of all the bad adjectives for how that can go, right? Antagonistic, awkward, lots of words that I think describe a relationship that isn't the right, meaningful relationship for both organizations.
Yeah, fantastic, Chris. Thanks for that. And we'll go on to the last question, which does touch upon the same sort of topic, but at a slightly different level when it comes to partnership. If I were at a trade show, for example, and I bumped into you, and another MSP was chatting with me, and I said, "Well, I think you should be taking a look at JumpCloud. I think but don't take it from me. Have a word with Chris." I mean, what advice would you be giving to someone that's not seen JumpCloud, and maybe why they should take a look at it, or how you think it could help their MSP?
Well, first I would try to understand what their focus areas are for email, calendar, contacts, the identity management, right? And if they're and then the follow-up question is remote monitoring and management, right? RMM. And then I would ask if they have the 3 legs of the stool that JumpCloud manages handled with what they're using today, and are they happy with it? Because I would tell them with JumpCloud you get identity management, device management, access management, with the training and certification and onboarding of their organization handled in a fashion that brings data to their fingertips very in a very straightforward, very easy to consume fashion, right? I would argue they could reduce their tool sprawl by deploying JumpCloud in more customers or in all of their customers, because that's what we're seeing today is that it in our business is that I'm being repetitive, but it ticks a lot of boxes that you have to have in a comprehensive cybersecurity and IT operations infrastructure. With that reduced complexity, you get greater vision, you get greater support, you get quicker resolution on a lot of issues, I think. Time will tell, though, because we're seeing a lot of evolution in the space. But so far, JumpCloud's development and feature roadmap has kept up with the pace of innovation so far. So, I would say keep a lookout, try it out, because I think once you do, that partner will see it grow legs in their organization. I'm quite sure.
Brilliant. That's a great answer, and hopefully we can have you along at some trade shows to kind of say that message for us. That's better, certainly better than we could pitch the product. So thanks for that, and thanks for the conversation. We're at time, yeah. So thanks for being a great partner. All the best for the continued evolution of Xceptional. I look forward to see what 4.0 is when that arrives. But
Thank you, Chris.
So thanks
Appreciate
again,
that.
and we'll speak soon.
It's good to be with you.
Cheers. Bye.